welcome everybody. It's a smaller room. We gave a little bit more room in the tables, and I think this is a good fit here. I think we've had 110 people in this room before, which is another, what, 30 people. Actually, it was here, and then we rolled out into the other room. So I think I like this size better. So, you know what I want to do is I want to bring the board members up from this last year, 2018, and if you could all come up here. You know, I wanted to thank these guys first off because, or these. When I say guys, I don't mean that. I mean these fine people, peeps, and you know, we did a lot of late night guys, and I appreciate that. You know what, 3-4 hour meetings that they put up with me and put up with. But we did a lot of headway this year, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But I really appreciate the efforts from everybody here on the board, and we usually meet 2 to 3 times a year, and literally 3-4 hour meetings is what we had. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate their significant others, their spouses, for allowing them to be with us during that time. So let's give them all a welcome. Thanks. I will say we do have a void, and we've talked about that. Selby was on the board, as you know. He was our vice president for 18 years. And I think Marlene's kind of came up with some numbers, but there's a lot of 18s in this. 2018, 18 years. His previous company was what, 18th Street?
18th Avenue.
18th Avenue. Coin business.
His life member is 18.
Life member number 18.
And he met me when I was 18.
Just 2 years ago. So no, I appreciate this board, and
he died in 2018.
Yes.
That's a lot of 18s.
But I appreciate this board. I thank you for your efforts. I thank everybody who's provided some input this year. And I think we've made some improvements. I think we've made some strides, and I thank you guys for it. And after this, we're going to have another 3 hour meeting. We should be done by 2, I suspect. No, I think I appreciate everybody here. Thank you, board. If Don, you can stay up, and Don Catalan. And then if for 2019, we did have an election, and Don Catalina, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get you to stay up here. Yeah, if you could, and Marlene. So we did have an election. And as you know, this is the new board, and I was reelected. I appreciate the confidence as the president, and Don Rinker was selected as the vice president. Marlene continues on as the secretary, and of course Don Catalan for the treasurer. So this is the new officers for the next 2 years going forward for the officers of NSDR. Thank you. Appreciate it. Congratulations, guys. Yeah. One other change in the board, because Don Rinker has taken the role of the vice president, we do have a new individual that has been assigned to complete the term that Don Rinker vacated. And Kurt, if you could stand up and let everybody see. Kurt Meese has joined the board. I did want to take a few minutes and talk about some things that have gone on, some wonderful changes that have happened. As you know, or as you maybe not know, but we have a wonderful relationship now with NGC, John Heifel helped spearhead that effort, and I appreciate your efforts on that. But that was a big win. NGC is the official grading service for the NSDR, and I think that was a big win this last just recently. And of course, some great accomplishments toward our 5-year goal. Some of you may not know, but 2 years ago I reintroduced the committees and reintroduced a plan to come up with a 5-year plan. And I spoke about that last year, possibly even 2 years ago. And Don Rinker also was the chair on that. But so what I want to do is bring up each of the chairs for the committees that have been working on these major sections of that 5-year plan. And we talk about some of the things that we've accomplished over this last year and last 2 years. So let's bring up, if we could, Marlene first to talk about the membership changes and the results that we've seen in that area. Marlene.
I'm starting to lose my voice, but from allergies. But anyway, the collector membership that we started up last year, we have a collector membership which also receives an NGC certificate for $25 off of their grading when they become a collector member. We also have a junior collector member. That is the premier one. That is $55 a year. And then we have the junior collector member, which is $20 a year. They also, as a junior member, it's under 18, they will also receive a certificate to NGC because they're our official grading company. We also have, as far as the numbers, by having the NSDR booth at the conventions such as A&A, Fun, Central States, Long Beach, we've started to started receiving more collector members. We have, at this time, we normally get 1 or 2 at every convention. So collector members, as far as the juniors, we only have 2 up to date. So I would like to challenge all of you that are life members to bring in a grandson, a granddaughter, a daughter, a son, a cousin, a nephew, and for $20 you can have them become a collector junior member. You can benefit by getting their certificate for NGC grading. So it's a win-win. We also have had new life members, but I'm not going to tell you who those are because they will receive their awards tonight. There was one thing that I actually forgot to mention. We had a challenge last year to who could bring in the most collector members. And I failed to mention that Don Kagan had brought in 9 new collector members just from his auction. He had made his own personal challenge that anyone that had bought and purchased any silver dollars for X amount of dollars, I don't know what that was. Any, okay, that he would sponsor them as a premier collector member. So you actually get the Goofy Award.
Many times over.
So you get to check on Goofy. Not that he's goofy, but it's the Goofy Award.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
For more than one reason, I'm sure.
I'm really excited about the efforts that Don's going to talk about. This is a big change. I don't know if you've heard, but we redone the website, and Don, if you want to jump on this side here,
yeah.
And I'm really excited about this. I appreciate your efforts on this, Don. Thanks.
My pleasure. Good evening. So a year ago, I got up and mentioned that we were going to be redeveloping the NSDR website, which has really not been changed for probably a dozen or so years. And so we were able to, over the course of about 6 or 7 months, put together a new much more robust, much more modern. Technically, it's much more advanced as far as the website. I'm not sure how many of you have been to the website. We actually now own the URL NSDR.org. You used to have to type in National Silver Dollar Roundtable.org to get to the site. Now you can just type in NSDR.org. So that's actually our URL. Much quicker and much easier. Additionally, some information as far as, since we released the site, we've been trying to link the site with as many other organizations as possible to get additional traffic. And so, as the way the internet works is the more links you have and the more keywords you have, the more members you have, the more attachments, the more likely you're going to show up somewhere. So just to give you a few statistics, since we started I think we released the website back in October, September, I think, October, somewhere around there. It's been a few months. In the last 30 days, we've had 29 visits to the site from NGC's site. So that was a link on NGC's site that brought them directly to the NSDR. 20 of them from PCGS, because we actually do have a presence on PCGS as well. 30 from Numis Media. All right, so that's another link that we have. And then we also get additional links and people to visit us through social media. So Instagram, Facebook. We've been developing that program as well as as far as trying to increase our social media presence. So, and again, if it used to be like if you weren't in the Yellow Pages, you didn't exist. Was their ad? Back when people used to use Yellow Pages. And if you weren't in the book, you didn't have a business. Well, if you're not on the web, you don't have a business. And if you don't have some social media link, you might have a business, but you're probably not going to be able to be found. And so we actually started about a year ago with a program where we do posting every week. There's been posts on both Instagram and Facebook to try and build more traffic and more visitors. And just to give you a few statistics there, on Instagram, we now have 1,057 followers, and that's pretty much over about the last 8 or 9 months. And we probably gain another, it is somewhat exponential, so every month it seems like it's a larger number. I would expect by this time next year we probably could have close to 3,000 people as far as those that follow us on Instagram. Facebook, we're at about 300, and again we started that with basically just putting out more posts and trying to get people to see or recognize who the NSDR was and who we are, what we stand for, what we offer, and the engagements. Just as an example, every time we put out a post, anywhere from 100 to 175 people in some way respond to that. Either they like the post, or they go to the post and open it, because sometimes you see it, but if you don't open it, that means that it wasn't necessarily that you didn't necessarily accomplish as much. But if they actually open it, it actually gives them, it ties us into them as far as that they open the ad. And when you open things, somehow Google allows that to be kind of like a link back to every time something's posted that's similar. You get, because you notice that when if you look for travel on Travelocity, suddenly Google is trying to sell you travel plans for the same location. Isn't that like magic? It's just amazing how that works. Well, it's the same thing with Instagram and Facebook. If you open our post, then you're more likely to see our posts again. So again, it builds more traffic. So definitely we're real excited about the new website. If you haven't been there, go check it out. There's a number of advertising packages that are available to dealers. Right now I think we have 7 premium dealers, which basically they have their own page. They have links to their website. They actually have pictures of some of their coins on the website. Nothing is sold on the site because this is a nonprofit, but basically it creates traffic for your businesses, which is really part of the benefit of being in this organization, is that people know who you are, know what you do. And again, this is really just over the last 8 or 9 months really started to take off. And the site has actually only been active or really online for the last few months. If you haven't been there, go there and check it out. The other thing too is with the advertising programs on the website is you get additional advertising in the printed ads. So if you're buying website advertising, you're actually getting an ad in the print. So prior pretty much you were paying for this and you weren't getting anything on the web. Now you actually are getting both, and to be honest with you, it's actually a very, very good value for what's out there, so you need to check it out. If you have any questions specifically regarding the site or the advertising or any of that, you can certainly talk to any of us on the board. I'm happy to talk to you guys. So anyway, super excited about where we are so far and where we're going.
Thanks, Don. So Don spoke about the advertising, and we've had advertising before. We've had the dealer directory, etc. But we've been sending out information. Has anybody not seen the information, the emails, or etc. about the advertising? Anybody not seen them? Are we missing anybody? What we have is a package deal that before, when you were advertising in the dealer directory, it actually enhanced it. We actually enhanced the capabilities of the advertising by in some cases, including the website advertising with it. So I recommend you check out the information. And I have slips here, which is some advertising order forms, and in more details, each of the different levels. But I do recommend you check it out if you haven't already. A lot of people are already doing it. Raise your hand if you've signed out and changed the advertising, and you're on the website advertising now, and you're new at website advertising. Who's all doing that now? Few people. Okay. Yeah, you should. I know the Higgins are doing it. You guys are on it too, I know. Yeah, Kagans, yeah. Okay, so I do recommend you check out these packages. It's a pretty good package deal that we've offered. So what we try to do is simplify the difference between what we had before and include a combination packages. Try to make it easier. Try to do it once a year. Here's the advertising packages that we have available. So I recommend you check into it. And if you want some more information, we'll have the forms up here, and you can just ask for it. If you have any questions, ask any of the board members, and we can help you with that. Make sure we get the questions answered. So that's part of the advertising, but that was a big change that it seemed always complicated. One thing I don't like to do is we always, we hit people up for money. And we do it throughout the year. We ask you to do this, and all the different things that we do, and I appreciate all of the efforts that everybody has put toward that. So this is trying to make it so that it's a little simplified, and doing a package deal with the advertising. So I appreciate the efforts on that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, or wanted to thank everybody, is the table sponsors. Who all is a table sponsor? If you could stand up, I appreciate it. Yeah, stand up. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. I will say that, interestingly enough, I've spoken with some NSDR members that are table sponsors, and they weren't able to come to the banquet, and they're still table sponsors. So that I really appreciate that. It does help, and we're going to, we'll talk. I'm going to have Don come up here, Don Caroline, talk about the financials to see where we're at. But it's a lot of these things that keep us going, and it does. It just keeps us going, and I appreciate those efforts. So, Don, you want to talk about the financials?
I've been treasurer for roughly 5.5, 6 years, and we're not a huge organization. And we've got numbers of ways. Our biggest event, of course, is this banquet we do every year. We've now introduced, as Jeff was pointing out, the advertising and whatever. But we've managed to maintain our finances pretty much as they were when I took over as treasurer. Our expenses vary very slightly every year, between 10 and 20% up and down. We have a fair amount of money in the bank that we can use, and one of the things I was mentioning to Jeff today was that I would like to get we would like to get some input from the membership. Now we're going to other levels that we haven't done before, but with the website and all that, and we are set up as a educational nonprofit organization, and I would like to get input from all the membership as what we could do, any suggestions, ideas about going forward, making this a more dynamic, vital organization that would have a larger presence in the numismatic marketplace. We've been around for 37 or 38 years, depending on how you look at it, and we've got a lot of things going on. And you know, the market, as we all know, has been rather sideways, lethargic for a while, and some people are struggling. But one of the things that's always amazed me in my entire career, which is going on 45 years now, is that silver dollars hang in there. They continue to be the staple and the basis of the entire market, and we're the we're the silver dollar organization, and we should be a lot more prominent out there. And I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip here, but one of the things that we've talked over is that things like we have both grading services have registry sets. Well, you know, collectors and prominent dealers and otherwise, some of those are involved in either assembling the registry sets or whatever, and they can put their website or put their registry sets up on our website. We haven't formulated the technical aspect of all that yet, but I think that's something else that can be done that would sort of promote and highlight the business. But the major thing is the membership support. Everybody that's a life member, this organization is basically dealers that are life members, and you pay that one-time life fee, and you don't have annual dues, such as the P&G and other organizations that require annual dues. So we're always kind of reaching out there and trying to get some more funding. And you know, again, I would like to get some ideas from anybody or everybody in the membership to promote this organization and you know, bring much more energy and life to the entire process. But the good news is we've always been well above water in our finances, and we managed to keep it going. And this year we've made some huge strides with the website and all of that, and we've got some plans to get it even better and more active. So I look forward to working with anybody and having any kind of ideas that you can provide, and to keep this group going. And I think that's about it. Any questions? Any questions about the finances? Anything like that? No, we're all good.